Welcome to Babblecom 5. So as you may have noticed, I've had a little bit of a break away from the old Babblecom 5 playlist for a while. But I thought I'd just show you a few things that I am planning to get to. So I'd start off by showing you this. This was a random eBay grab, which as you can see has 3 exclusive Babylon 5 postcards, and they are indeed still attached. This is a prog from after I collected 2000 AD. I used to get it on a weekly basis. This is prog number 1044. I think that's quite a long way after when I stopped. So I don't actually know. It says copyright 1997 on it. So, but I got it for this, and that's it's a rather lovely little collection of postcards, and they're in pretty good. They're in pretty good condition actually when all's said and done. So you've got a nice Jaquan class cruiser. Obviously a White Star, Lennon Sheridan, looking very young, bless them. And I'm not sure who this guy is. I think he might be one of the war leaders. I'm not quite sure, but it's not Jakar. That much I do know. It's not Jakar. But the seat belts definitely suggest to me that he's in a non-ship of some description. So yeah, I'm not quite sure which episode he's from. But yeah, it was just nice little pickup. Wasn't terribly pricey, so and still perfectly usable postcards as well. No one scribbled on them or anything, so yeah, cool. So yeah, so future plans. Always good to have future plans. So interestingly, I've got this now. There may be moans from the audience at this one, but this is The Legend of the Rangers. I've just picked this up completely separately on DVD because I discovered it was available from all good second-hand bookshops, strangely, but it was anyway. So, feature-length movie. But the timing of Legend of the Rangers was actually quite interesting, and I hadn't quite appreciated this before, but it's actually before the Call to Arms movie. I don't think it actually it doesn't say on the back here when it's set. But as you can see, sort of spoiler alert, Jakar is in it, which is fairly obvious on the front cover as well, of course. I will not go into any more detail about it than that, on the off chance that you haven't seen it. But basically, this was intended as a pilot for a spin-off show, but it did not happen. And in terms of... It's not quite the last bit of Babylon 5 that was ever filmed. But it was probably the latest thing that was filmed when a full studio was still standing. When I come to do a review of it, I will try and provide some more details than that. But basically, just to say that will be coming in due course when I can stomach it. It may not be that bad. That's the thing. It may not be that bad. I know there is a bit of silliness in it, but it may not be that bad. Now, again, interestingly, I would say that Crusade has to come next. You may well recognise some of those faces, both from Babylon 5 and or Call to Arms, because this is the series, the spin-off series, the short-lived spin-off series that followed on from the Call to Arms TV movie in the Babylon 5 pantheon. So, as I say, this apparently comes after Legend of the Rangers, and a few years after the end of season 5. I'm not sure if it's 2267. So it's nearly 10 years after. Well, it's 10 years after the start of the series, about 5 years or so after the end of the series. I'm now even less convinced about when Legend of the Rangers is set. I really am. Well, I'm definitely going to have to check that, because I'm now thoroughly confusing myself as to when it was set. But as you can see, this is minty and unsealed, so I literally have not watched this ever. So you will be watching it with me as I break into this, and I hope to God the discs are alright, because if they're not, it's going to be a really short series review. But I'm gonna go episode by episode in whatever order they're on they're in this box set basically, because that's how I normally do it. If you don't know anything about Crusade and you haven't seen A Call to Arms, I may as well just shut up, quite frankly, because it would be spoiler-esque. But suffice it to say, it is set in the Babylon 5 universe, fairly and squarely. It is not set on Babylon 5. It does visit Babylon 5. You will be immediately comfortable with it if you've seen Babylon 5, but you might be forgiven for not having seen this. Had the studios kept their nose out of it, it's probably fair to say that it could have carried on and been quite successful. But unfortunately, it was, as with things like Firefly, it just didn't quite launch, unfortunately. So that was just its fate. So there's that. And there was also this. Now this is Babylon 5, The Lost Tales. This, to date, was the only attempt to do, if you like, a sort of a very light reboot. And it's not even a reboot, it's just a revisitation of the station, with quite sort of short tales featuring Lockley, Sheridan and Galen, again from Call to Arms. So its special effects, ironically, are actually amongst some of the best in the series because it's done that much later. So it looks really nice, and I think it was the only one to be filmed digitally as well. So it is a lot sort of cleaner looking than a lot of the older stories are. And I haven't really I have watched it, but I haven't sort of sat and rewatched it for, as long as I've not watched the series for, I guess. Well, less than that, because this came out well after. But this was a straight to DVD, and there were plans for there to be more than one of these, but only one actually ever materialised. And obviously we're now kind of, still waiting to hear what happens with any other further continuation. But it's certainly interesting in as far as it goes, and it's very much in the style of the series. So, if you want to be laying claim to having watched absolutely everything ever done on film in the Babylon 5 universe, you have to have watched this as well. Basically, that's what it boils down to. That's about the size of it. So, this, I guess, will probably be, chronologically speaking at least, would be the last one that I looked at. But I will get round to it. Having worked through Babylon 5 solidly for 2 years, I think I was entitled to a touch of time off, which I've taken. I've also got, although I don't have any of them with me just here, all of the novelizations of the series. So I've hunted these down on eBay, and they consist of, from memory, 9 sort of standalone novels and several trilogies of novels. The trilogies are canon, and a couple of the books are canonesque as well. The rest are not considered canon. I also came across various other sort of supporting books, but they're not, they're more kind of offshooty kind of books. I have got 1 or 2 I can show you actually, but as I say, they're not perhaps as relevant as the actual novels. So those I will be doing 2 in due course. So if you've got any particular preference for what order I tackle those in, let me know in the comments. And until then, cheers for now.